What's going on? Track 3, Barcelona, Freddie Mercury and Montserrat. We are on The Fallen Priest. The Fallen Priest, originally a virtuoso piano piece by Moran. With some high vocals from Mercury. It was named Rachmaninoff's Revenge. Demos come from January 26th and February 19th respectively. I imagine that's 1987. Then it was named The Duet, and finally The Fallen Priest when Tim Rice wrote the lyrics for it. Elaine Paige was living with Rice at the time, and she was working on an album of Queen covers. Also released in 1987, it was also produced by Moran, who conducted the orchestra, wrote the arrangements, and played piano and keyboards. The ending piano riff bears a strong resemblance to the ending of the first movement of Russian composer Sergei Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. Okay, alright, we're going to check this out, The Fallen Priest. Here it is, bam.
Shackles fall away, I'm in your power. You're free yourself, come to me. Let me lead you. I beg you, to let go. My heaven is yours, and heaven is all.
It's very cool, very nice, right?
Oh
I mean, the music is so magnificent. Really, that's the word for this. Really. And just the amount of color and change that the music is bringing is great, right? This is very different than, so a video just came out. This is, I mean, from when this is being released 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, probably a video came out and I said the word diatonic. And people were like, "What are you talking about?" I think it was the BTO song, "Let It Ride." I think it was that one, that video. And there were people that were like, "Can you tell me what that means?" I used the word diatonic, and what that means is it means in the key, right? Just you're in the key of G or whatever key. I just pick a random key. You're in the key of G. All the chords, all the notes, all the sounds that you're hearing are all in that key. They're diatonic. We're in the key of G. This is completely not that. This is the opposite of that, which brings in a lot more color. Like a ton more color. Like all the color. Making available all of the color, which is really nice. Really, it's part of what makes it magnificent sounding, is that they're able to, you know, you move up in your melody. You're if you have a melody and you're writing, you're putting chords underneath it. Let's say you're doing it, you're writing in that way, right? You can write however you want, right? But let's say that you have a melody that you like. Now you need to put chords behind it. Making your chords diatonic, if all your chords are all in the key of G, that's fine. It can work, but it's all gonna mostly have the same color. Like some chords are going to be stronger than others because they're going to be like dominant chords, whether it's the 1 chord or the 4 chord or the 5 chord. And then there's going to be, you know, chords that have a little bit different color, maybe aren't as strong. They're a little bit more, I want to say like submissive of chords or whatever. Just a different kind of color to it. That would be like your 3 chord, your 2 chord, your 6 chord, stuff like that. Right, and what does that mean when I say those numbers? Right, this is part of what people were saying. Like, hey, you're throwing out these numbers 4, 6, 2, etc. What does that mean? That means that if we're in the key of G and I say 2, that's the second note of the scale. Right, we're in the key of G, so think of like a G major scale. Right, that would imply a G major scale. Second note being A. If you build a chord in thirds off of that, you get A minor. Wow. Right? So that would be 2. 4 would be the 4th note of the scale, which in G is C. So you build a chord off of that in thirds, you get C major. Okay? 6 would be E, right? E is the 6th note of G, right? In the key of G. You build a chord off of that in thirds, all in the key of G, right? You get E minor. And you can make triads, or you can make 7th chords. Those are going to also be different. And you can do a ton of different things with that, including modulate to different keys using those chords, which I like and is cool. And I love that type of sound. So, okay, you have C major, just as an example. If you're in the key of G and you play a C major, you can now say, well, actually we're in the key of C now. And you can do that by then the next chord being in the key of C. So you could do whatever. I mean, you could really do whatever you want. You can play whatever chords you want. It's just whether or not it sounds good or not. If the voice leading really works, like here, all of that is working incredibly well, right? I mean, the people that are writing and arranging this know what they're doing with music. But that's how you would create and bring in other color and other notes instead of it just being diatonic. If it's just diatonic, you're using the same notes the whole time. That's what I meant, you know, by that BTO song, is just very diatonic, but how they were using the chords and what chord, like where's the one, they weren't really, if I remember this correctly, because it's been a while since I've heard the song, they weren't resolving to the one, they were resolving to like the 6 or something like that. I vaguely remember it. So there wasn't really a strong resolution or a strong home sense. So, but here they're using all kinds of passing tones and passing chords and moving throughout keys and colors, and it's nice. It makes it just very fluid and colorful, really. And you would do that just, you know, just by sitting at the piano, just plunking out chords, seeing what works. Okay, C major, and then what happens if I go from C major to C sharp minor? Does that sound good? What happens if I go from C major to C sharp major? Does that sound good? What happens if I go from C major to A major with a C sharp in the bass? Does that sound good? Right? Because these are going to create different colors, different sounds, still using, and this is where, to me, being a bass player really is a big deal. And comes into my wheelhouse, because what I put at the bottom as a bass player, right? Even just what I was doing right there, my bass note was C to C sharp. And then what you put on top of it, that is going to also just dictate the color. So if, like I said, C, you're going to make me pull the bass out. Great, great, great. Great. More work for myself. That's what you're asking of me? Alright, we're not really in tune, but we're in tune enough for me to care. Here we go. Okay, so. Alright, that's C to C sharp major. That's C sharp minor, so it's got that different sound. That's just going up in majors, right? C major, C sharp major, D major. What happens if we do minor? So C major, C sharp minor, D. Let's just stick to C and C sharp. Right, C major, C sharp minor. Okay, and now I said C to C sharp, but it's A, right? This is C to A with C sharp in the bass. Do it again. nice going to the D, right? Because that's kind of like a 1 to 4 type of sound, right? Let me do that again. C to C sharp. You hear how it has to do with voice leading matters, right? Voice leading is just like how the notes move within, you know, move to each other, how they approach each other. Okay, so what would be another example? Let's see. Okay, so here's C to F sharp minor with C sharp in the bass. That sounds nice. I got some dead notes up here. Bass player shouldn't be playing up there anyways. I'm just kidding. This is why I use the other bass to. This is why I'll rock out with this thing. The other bass is for the nice playing, because that thing has no dead spots and sounds incredible. Okay, right. That's enough. That's enough. Just a few examples of what I'm talking about. And you can go on and on with that. All the different examples of like, what are all the chords that have C in it? Every single chord. What's every single chord that has C sharp in it? Try all those combinations. Doing that. They're doing all that within this music and creating all this different color and sound and just the word is color, right? Where if it's diatonic, that's just gonna sound like we're in the same place. Like we're moving, but we're just going in a circle and that circle is small. But if you start using all of the notes that we have available to us, all of a sudden your circle is as big as it can be, right? They're using all the notes, right? Their circle is as big as it can be. So there you go. This is very nice. This is cool. The Fallen Priest. All right. There you go. Wow. Up next is Ensueno. Ensueno. Sueño. I don't know how to say. Come on, guys. I can only work with 4 strings. Okay. All right. That's up next. I'll catch you then. Later.